Welcome back to the Explanation Pro. Today I'll recap an American, action, thriller film called The Contractor. Spoilers incoming. Green Beret SFC James Harper is a decorated Special Operations Forces officer at Fort Bragg. He has been living comfortably in a suburban home with his wife, Brianne, and his son, Mark. However, he was subjected to rehabilitation for some weeks due to a knee injury he sustained during an unknown operation. In the middle of recuperating, the advisory board summons him to inform them about his illegal use of steroids to treat the pain. This violation forced the officials to discharge Harper from military service and strip off his rank. The disappointed Green Beret tells his wife, who is already distressed over the number of bills that have piled up since his injury. Days pass as Harper receives calls from different utility companies informing him about late payments and from private contractors hoping he will sign up for underground operations. He feels tempted to apply due to their financial ruin, but he mulls it over, thinking about his family and his sense of duty to the country. One night, Brianne comes home distressed while Harper fixes the roof shingles. She tells him that one of his war buddies, Mason, died in his sleep, and a funeral is set for him to attend. She encourages him to see his grieving family and support them since he was very close with Mason during their time in the military. Memories flash back as a young Harper receives a painful ink tattoo of the American flag due to the insistence of his soldier father. At the cemetery, he bumps into colleague Mike Hawkins, who offers him to stay at his house and spend time with his family. During an evening dinner, they happily converse with the children about their relationship in the military, revealing that Mike was Harper's former superior. After eating, the two soldiers talk candidly in the living room about each other's lives. Harper mentions he is being recruited for private military work, which intrigues Mike since he is already involved in a similar fashion. He tells him that a veteran soldier, Rusty Jennings, owns a company that offers contractual missions for the Department of Defense in exchange for a massive payout of around $350,000. This intrigues Harper, as he asks if Rusty will take him in to help solve his financial issues. Mike agrees to help, and by the next day, they travel to Rusty's ranch at Spring Lake Coffee Roastery. Once there, they speak with the veteran while he tends his tomato garden. Rusty talks to Harper privately while he reviews his records as an officer. He shows compassion over his plight, having experienced it before, which led him to build his private company. He then reveals the nature of the job, dealing with national security matters under Presidential Authority Title 50, with the coffee business serving as a front. An enthused Harper agrees to sign on with Rusty's offshoot team for an operation in Germany, protecting some corporates. As a sign of good faith, the veteran gives his family an advance of $50,000 to help clear the debts. Returning to his wife that evening, he tells her about getting the job, even though Brianne is worried he will get involved in something unethical. He leaves his house at dawn and proceeds to an undisclosed hotel to prepare money, weapons, and gear that he will carry to Berlin. As he gets settled, he meets with a contact, Katia, who discloses that the mission will involve him surveilling 42-year-old Middle Eastern scientist Salim Mohsen, a professor emeritus in virology at Humboldt University. He is suspected of being involved in bioterrorism and performs experiments in a private laboratory. Later at night, he leaves in an unmarked vehicle and travels to the scientist's house to observe his movements. Over the week, Harper discovers necessary details about him, including experiments involving swine, meeting with dignitaries, getting secret phone calls, and living normally with a wife and 2 children. Sometime later, he resides inside an abandoned storage unit and rendezvous with Katia, Mike, and a team of contractors. Rusty informs them that the scientist is part of Al-Qaeda and developing a bioagent that needs to be extracted. After an hour-long briefing about their target, they suit up and head out to the private facility. Once there, they incapacitate all the guards and staff while searching for the research area where Mohsen is. Mike subdues the scientist and ties him down to question him while another team member breaches through the facility's network. Mohsen is forced to reveal details about his research, including a significant unnamed investor financing him and the backup drives containing his virology work. Suddenly, an alert flashes on the tracking device, indicating police are headed to the laboratory to investigate the intrusion. Mike receives instructions from the ranch to follow through with Codex, which involves burning all evidence and eliminating all targets. While the team makes final preparations before exiting the facility, Harper prepares Mohsen a serum to kill him. However, the scientist pleads with him to let him return to his family, telling him he is making a mistake in his noble intentions to use his research for the greater good. Before entirely succumbing to the injection, he reveals that a copy of his data is inside a safety deposit box that he asks Harper to retrieve. The remorseful operative then packs up and leaves the facility stealthily as fire spreads throughout the area. As they escape through the forest, the police corner the team and take down most of the members in an intense shootout, including Katia. Mike provides cover fire but is shot in the leg, forcing Harper to carry him away until they reach a swamp. They then swim to an underwater tunnel leading them to the sewer. Though Mike believes he will die from losing blood, Harper rests him down to save him with an 4 bag filled with A+ blood. As news of the incident is reported, the pair wait a bit longer for the police to clear out before planning their next move. Due to the worsening knee injury, Harper requests Mike to leave him behind to recuperate and rendezvous back with him in Hotel Salvina in 48 hours. As his friend escapes, his mind then flashes back to his childhood at the beach with his father. Not long after, Harper is able to move freely and swims back to the surface. After covering himself with mud, he quietly roams the forest until he reaches a truck filled with supplies. By nightfall, he makes it to his hotel room, finding fresh clothes, travel gear, and a note but no sign of Mike nor team leader Rusty. After treating his injured knee, he checks with the hotel attendant for any messages, only to be informed that no one is reaching out to him. The delay increasingly worries him, so he steps outside to acquire a burner phone at the train station to call Rusty. The veteran contractor informs him that Mike has not yet made it to Berlin, so he must wait for extraction somewhere at Elsen Bridge, where a brown BMW will be waiting for him. Upon reaching the area, Harper senses something amiss when he sees a suspicious motorcycle driver signaling to someone. Receiving unclear answers from Rusty about Mike's whereabouts, he ends the call, throws the phone, and leaves the area as a hit team emerges at the bridge to eliminate him. As they begin shooting him, Harper jumps over the bridge and swims to the edge, with a motorcycle team following close by. After hitting one of them with a brick, he takes his gun and leads the hitmen through the underground sewers to take them out one by one with quick precision. He then interrogates a badly injured mercenary, who reveals that their unit is composed of former recon Marines paid by Rusty to terminate Harper, with another team having successfully eliminated his partner, Mike. Before dying, he lets Harper take his phone and input the kill code to stop Rusty's men from doing the extraction so that he can travel to the safe house undetected. He warns him that he can never return home. Harper leaves the area, contacts Rusty as one of the mercenaries, and goes on the train to the next station. The following day, Harper visits Mosen's home to gather more information about Rusty's betrayal. Unlocking the keypad, he enters and grabs the scientist's wife, Sylvie, threatening her into providing him with Salim's computer files. Sylvie tells him they are housed in a safe deposit box inside Swiss Credit Bank. He then instructs her to take him there, bringing her son along as leverage. After a few minutes of transacting inside the bank, the wife gives Harper her husband's iPad. With the files in his hands, he abandons the family and goes to the town square. At a pay phone, he calls the number on the note left by the mercenary and contacts Recon Squad for extraction in a marked location. At the site, he meets Virgil, though he is tranquilized for his own safety and transported to his home, where he awakens on a bed strapped to an 4. Virgil explains that the infection on his knee has worsened and will need time to treat correctly, preventing him from returning to his family in time. While recuperating inside the safe house, he plays a video file on the iPad in which Mosen leaves a message for his son Yanis about the creation of a working H5N1 vaccine formula, with a 16% mortality rate. He wishes the vaccine to be distributed freely rather than selling it to a power-hungry pharmaceutical company. Harper becomes emotional, realizing that he left an innocent man dead even though he only wanted to save humanity. While the two men share dinner together, they exchange stories about combat experiences. Virgil reveals he has been hiding for 13 years, abandoning his family to evade Rusty and his men. Suddenly, a bullet pierces through the window, hitting Virgil fatally. The lights are cut off as Harper realizes another of Rusty's fire teams has located him. Thinking quickly, he opens the gas valve and leaves a candle near the stove. As the gas fills the room, he leaps out the window and onto a withered tree to escape. Within seconds, the house explodes, killing everyone inside. Harper hops inside one of the military vehicles and drives toward a checkpoint at the EU border, where he gets through without suspicion. After arriving from a flight back to the United States, Harper gets on a motorcycle to track down Mike, believing he is still alive despite what the mercenary told him. His speculation is confirmed as he finds the former soldier safely inside his home with his family as if nothing happened. He retires in a campground at night, preparing his weapons for his next move. By the morning, he follows Mike to a location, only to get compromised by the soldier, who initially thinks he is one of the recon squad. Harper reveals himself and angrily confronts him about the heist, knowing they were ordered to steal a cure for a virus Rusty and his company wants to release to the public. Mike tries to apologize, explaining that Rusty also lied to him for a huge payout and that he will come after Harper knowing he is still alive. After venting all his frustrations, he refuses to go into hiding and recruits him to set up a plan to get revenge on Rusty. The two veteran soldiers return to Spring Lake Ranch in the middle of the night. Mike alights from the vehicles, greeting his colleagues and fatally shooting them by surprise. Harper leaps out of the back of the van, and the two men open fire at Rusty and the guards at his house. As Mike distracts Rusty out front, Harper creeps into the back of the courtyard and sneaks inside. He takes out the remaining guards while Mike decides to move closer to the porch but gets shot by Rusty's sniper rifle. Meanwhile, Harper brawls with one of the guards, subduing the mercenary with a chokehold. An injured Rusty makes two more heavy shots at Mike, pinning him down. He then leaves his position to reach the living as Harper corners the bleeding war veteran. With only seconds left before bleeding out, he tells Harper he is ready to die with his boots on. Harper does not hesitate and shoots him in the head. He then hurriedly head outside to drag Mike to the back of the truck and leave the property. Unfortunately, Mike succumbs to his injuries and tells Harper to inform his son that he did not die in his sleep. As his friend makes him a promise, he takes one last breath and dies during the drive home. By the next morning, Harper burns down the getaway vehicle and abandons it as he walks along the desert road. Sometime after, he returns to his home and sees his son Jack swimming in a pool. As he and his mother step out for a walk, Harper happily calls out to him, with Jack looking back, surprised to see his father alive and healthy. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.